Good morning and welcome to M2G JANSEN. We're certainly glad to have South African metalworkers taking this opportunity to become JANSEN accredited partners so that you can offer your own business, create niche markets across residential, commercial, large-scale elements, fire, ballistics, or bulletproof or bullet-resistant doors and elements. So welcome on board. I'm going to give you a quick outline of the business and then of the actual program, and then we're going to get stuck in with module 1, part 1 straight away. So let's go. I'm going to share my screen with you and just show you what we've got in line for you. So we've already said that the accreditation program is for South African metalworkers. And you'll see I'm sitting where I was sitting earlier, and you can see my inset screen. Behind me is our showroom, and there's a photo of it. And this we developed specifically for you metalworkers in South Africa, if you'd like to bring your clients here. Unfortunately, it is in Cape Town for those of you that are in Joburg, Bloemfontein, or PE, or other parts of the country. And we intend over the first year of operations to develop a digitized version of the showroom for you to make it a bit easier to show your clients and architects what you can do with our steel products. So these are finished products, and as described earlier, M2G is here to supply these Swiss rolled steel products to the local market. And there's various systems that are available for the doors, windows, facades, and roof lights, and so on. So we will also be uploading some great reference projects from around the world, from metal workers that are doing what you guys do here in South Africa, they're doing in other parts of the world. And maybe you'll get some great ideas from what you see across the water. And there's another great example, and you can see the enormous spans you can do in steel. And although we have no interest in competing with the aluminium market, there are certainly niche facade or fenestration elements where steel makes sense, and maybe because of fire or some other parameter, design parameter, steel is the only option. So we'll give you some of these reference projects from around the world. But first of all, I thought it would be good just to introduce M2G to you, because M2G is the two local partners here who have brought JANSEN to South Africa. So let's just take a look at this together.
We are bringing an exciting product to the sunny shores of Cape Town, South Africa. JANSEN Steel Building Systems, ranked #1 in the world and manufactured in Switzerland, will now be available on your strip. We'd like to welcome you to our world-class showroom in Woodstock for a coffee and a chat. And you're welcome to bring your drawings of windows, doors, skylights, facades, or architectural elements, and we'll work with you to create a sustainable and yet elegant solution. The systems cover all elements like glazed fire, security and bullet-resistant doors, slim steel profiles for top-hung windows, and gorgeous heritage fenestration that is thermally efficient. Swiss ironmongery to last you a lifetime, and there's a wide range of products including tilt and turn windows and facades for you to come and see. In addition, we provide CAD and BIM objects, and we'll be training, accrediting and supporting local metalworkers in design, estimating and fabrication. Our local French-speaking investors, Olivia and Jeff, took good advice from experienced friends who are distributors or metalworkers for JANSEN in Europe, and they invested in M2G to become the international exclusive distribution partner for JANSEN in Africa. See you there.
So that was a quick introduction to the business M2G, situated here in Cape Town, that we will be rolling out nationally, and already we have metal workers who have joined us from Joburg and are nearly complete with the accreditation program. So let's have a look what this program means. So first of all, we get an idea of what you do and what your interests are, and get an idea of what training you require. We then just agree what those training goals will be, looking at what we want to get out of the training to make sure it remains focused. And then we deliver the training. And at the moment, due to the pandemic, we're sitting now in January 2021. we decided just for allowing us to bring the business along maybe sooner or quicker than delaying it any further, we literally recorded the sessions that JANSEN AG did for us and our staff. So we trust that you don't mind, that it's a fairly informal setting, the videos that have been recorded, but we trust that that suits your purpose and allows you also to get on board as early as possible to carve out these niche markets. And then the last thing of the program is a pilot project, but let's just have a look at some of the detail of the program. Right, module 1 has 2 parts. The first part is an introduction to JANSEN AG, this 100-year-old company in Oberried in Switzerland. The second part of module 1 is why use steel, and this is a great resource to use for being able to speak to architects, facade engineers, mechanical engineers, even structural engineers who are doing tall spans. Then module 2, there's DocuCenter, which is an incredibly powerful resource, both online and available as an app for Android and for Apple, which you can use on your phone. And that you can search all the systems, you can search all the consumables, and have a look at all the details, and include some BIM objects. Then there's a part on fenestration types, norms, and furniture. And for those of you that have been in the industry for a long time, you'll know that many people, even still, when you ask them, is it a right or a left-hand door, they get it wrong. And they end up with the door being delivered to site, which is the incorrect handing. So it just looks at the norms, types, and how that's represented on a drawing. And then safety systems, fire, security, and bullet resistance. And obviously the steel is perfectly suited for fireproof doors. But not only that, JANSEN has developed over many years fire systems that already have the ceramic fill in the profile. So you can use that profile straight off the shelf, and you can cut, weld, and grind it with the fill inside. So there's no more messy vermiculite. I've seen aluminium trades trying to squash the vermiculite into the sections, and it's not a pleasant operation, and it's messy, time consuming, and it's not practical. So we are bringing those systems that JANSEN has developed in Switzerland now to South Africa for you. Part 4 of module 2 and part 5 are the other aspects of the products, at least the other part of the product range. There's non-insulated steel building systems, both for commercial and residential use, and then insulated building systems, which again also for commercial and residential use, including heritage. And the insulated systems are basically thermally broken frames, and with the focus of architects and clients on energy saving, it is ideal for the South African market. All right, module 3, we're going to look at Yanisoft, which is an estimating software which we are providing at a small fee from JANSEN. And as metalworkers, you know what it takes to do a quotation, what it takes to do a cutting list, what it's like to do some CAD drawings showing sections, and even to change systems. And Yanisoft allows you as the metalworker to very quickly develop a quote, develop a design, and even develop the cutting list and materials lists for what you are offering to the client. In module 4, there's 2 parts. The first, JANSEN AG takes us into their factory during COVID and gives us an idea of how to cut, weld, grind, and fabricate these units, including some glazing with the stud machine. And the last part is the surface protection and logistics, just looking at how do you protect steel. I think from those who are familiar with the corrosivity maps in South Africa, apparently corrosion worldwide is worth $2.5 trillion annually. So how do you protect it in the coastal regions? The ISO standards have created a standard for the various coastal regions to the drier inland regions, and they're just taking the right view on protection to ensure that the JANSEN brand is upheld. Okay, and then module 5 is the last part of the program, and that is the trial project for accreditation. And that might be you'll make a door for us or a window that we can ensure that what you are delivering to the client is good quality. So as metalworkers, the reason we have this accreditation program so that you can buy our profiles is to ensure that you become good ambassadors for JANSEN. And our values are quite simple: professionalism and excellence and trust. And that's how we intend to win a niche market upon which you can build your business locally. So that's it for the overview of the accreditation program. And now what we're going to do, we're going to hand over to Andreas, who's in Switzerland, and we're going to go to the recording that he's done for us on Module 1, Part 1. I trust you'll enjoy and look forward to walking through with you as we go through the accreditation program together. Cheers.
Our training department, we have a nice team here of 5 people. Riyad here in the middle and myself are the trainers, and the 3 guys, well, in the background, and Reto here on the right-hand side, who will be helping us out today in the workshop. These are our, let's say, hands-on guys who we will do the hands-on trainings in the workshop. So that's also planned for you guys. As soon as the lockdown is over, you will meet all these, well, the entire training team.
Awesome.
Switzerland, this is where we are. This is where we are located. Jansen is right in the east, on the east side of Switzerland, between, well, you could almost say between or on the border with Austria. Very close to Germany, very close to Italy. I will show you just another map. Have you guys been to Switzerland? Well, Dave, you have, I guess, but Luke and Valerie, have you guys?
I've been many times because I've got family in Lausanne.
All right. Well, then I'd have to tell you this. Well, we have 26 departments, or cantone, they call them here. Around 8 million people. Bern is the capital with 350,000 people. So it's quite a small country. Very versatile, though, very diverse. We speak 4 languages. There's 4 official languages in Switzerland. Well, the main ones are German, French, and Italian. German, some 70% of the population well, speaks German, 25 French, and 5% Italian. What you also see here on the right-hand side is the Rheto-Romanisch. That's a old Roman language, you could say. It's a mix of Italian, French, something like that. 35,000 people of Switzerland speak it, so it's really just a traditional language, let's say. We don't train in this language, but we do train in Italian, French, German, and we also cover 3 or 4 more languages here in our department. So the idea is always to train our customers in their local language. Switzerland in Europe, as you see, the location is very central. We are surrounded by our main markets. Our main markets are France, Germany, Switzerland, Italy. We call them also the Dachi or Dachit countries, just the abbreviation of the first letters of these countries. So logistically, an interesting position or situation. We can deliver on the rail or on the road to very quickly to our customers in Europe.
And don't forget my home country, Holland.
Oh, true. Yeah. Very important, not only because it's one of the main markets, but it's also the market where most of the innovation comes from. So this is, again, I mean, Gary mentioned the mentality in South Africa. It's close to the Dutch mentality, I guess, and I feel it also. And so that's also, again, a reason why the product fits perfectly to South Africa. I mean, it's just... it's a good tool, and ideas just spring up from Holland, and I hope soon from South Africa. I mean, you already showed us how to make a perfect showroom, so good start. So good location here, logistically very, very favorable. A few facts and figures about our company. Jansen was founded in 1923 by Joseph Jansen. So he was actually a guy who emigrated from Germany. He settled down here, bought a textile production factory, and converted it into steel pipe production. This was the time when Switzerland and Europe was experiencing a fast progress in industrialization. Electrification came into the industry, high currents, and the cables that carried these currents needed protection, insulation. So these steel pipes were in the first step being used for insulating of high current cables. Later on, a few years later, Josef Jansen started producing profiles for doors and later windows, and this is how the whole operation started. I'm mentioning steel pipes because this is still the main product of Jansen. I will show you the whole structure of the company and show you the business units. Steel pipes are our main product still. We are a corporation, so there is stocks. The company is divided into stocks. However, 100% of the stocks are the family property, the Jansen family property. We are not on the stock market, which is actually an advantage. We're not dependent on any external capital providers. There is no, let's say, foreign parties interfering with business decisions. This allows us a long-term planning here in Oberit. So the family has the steering in their hands. This is what who determines the future of the company. Jansen is very international, considering its size. We have production sites in Switzerland and Germany. There is another factory in close to Kassel, in Dingolstadt. This is a steel pipe production facility, which produces steel pipes mainly for the Volkswagen complex. So Volkswagen, Seat, Audi, and so on. Nonetheless, we also provide the steel pipes to all European car manufacturers. So if you're driving a European car, you may be already using Jansen pipes, Jansen products. Turkey and China, in these two countries, we also have our own marketing and sales teams. So these two markets are steered directly here from Oberit, you could say, through our own people. In all other markets where we are present, we use a network of partners. You guys are a good example of that. So we have a partner with who we team up, we train the team. We consider our partners actually part of the Jansen family. And this is how the business can develop, let's say, faster and cover more countries, more markets. Jansen workers or Jansen employees in total, around 1,000 worldwide. Of those, 750 are located or work here in Oberit. Turnover 2019 was 300 million. We expect a dip this year. The official numbers are not out yet, but there will be a significant slowdown in sales due to the COVID situation.
Well, maybe Andrea, just to add something now, because we bought RP Technique. Of course, these facts and figures will change a little bit.
They will, that's right. So the employees will actually increase by 70.
70, yes.
Yeah. And the turnover, correct me if I'm wrong, but was it 65 million?
No, yes, about that. Yeah, 65 millions. And but maybe also just to for your information, the most strategical thing is that the company we bought RP Technique from, a company is called Welser. And they are also manufacturer of profiles, special tubes. And due to this strategical cooperation we will have with them, we will be far more flexible, far more agile to manage special inquiries, or to be quicker with optimization of systems, of creating new systems. It's not only because of purchasing RP Technique, it's also to have the very strategical partnership with Welser, which makes us a lot more flexible and agile.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Gary, for this. Yeah, that's right. That's true. That's the strategic reason for the acquisition.
And there was also kind of conflict situation because we were customer already, a long-time customer of Welser, and Welser was the mother company of RP Technique, which was one of our main competitors, especially in France and Germany. So that was a little bit like a conflict situation. They were producing profiles for us, but on the other hand, they were the owners of RP Technique, and this situation, of course, has changed dramatically. But moreover, is to have availability of machines, very modern machines, really modern. They have a top machinery, and that we can be more flexible, quicker. Yeah, the magic word, flexibility and agility, which will help us a lot to maintain and to create a more stronger position on the market. Not only to take it away from our competitors, Forster, but also to have bigger shares in the market from aluminium, especially from aluminium.
Yeah. No, I think it makes a lot of sense, Jerry, and I think it seems to be such a good move at such a good time.
Yeah.
Even though it might seem counterintuitive, and it sounds like that you're also going to benefit from single sourcing, so where you combine your supply chain, optimize your supply chain.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the machines they're not standing in the premises of Jansen, but they're available. They are kind of Jansen machines, only running for us.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for this edition.
Yeah, no.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just so fresh. Of course. The news just hit us yesterday, but it's true. It's a lot of strategy behind it.
Yeah, and we also we were talking with Welser already 2 years ago to buy RP Technique.
Wow.
There were conversations going on, but and I must really admit I was surprised at the family Jansen, which is let's say they're not conservative in thinking in the mentality, but the way to lead the company is very precautious. They're Swiss, you know, they're like Swiss cows. They eat the grass. They don't to digest it. It's coming up again, and they chew it again. It's going down, and it's several times. So I was really surprised that they made this very decision, but we are very happy with that.
It's a great move. Really great, really nice news after a difficult 2020. It's nice to have such great news at the opening of 2020.
It's a very strong signal to the market, and as you know that Forster, our main competitor, which is number 2, has been bought by a Belgian aluminium system house, Reynars. Reynars, and just short before Christmas, they bought the Dutch distributor, which is one of the most important distributors they bought. So they're really active. They are they're doing more and more direct marketing, and which was also a little bit like frightening us. So they are really active. What are we doing? You know, and you see now we have done something.
Brilliant.
Good response.
It takes a lot of effort to stay on top. You can't rest. You have to keep improving both the product innovation and also operations and sales excellence.
Yeah, excellent. Okay.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Then let me just continue here. Okay. Where are we active? As you see, the dots actually represent our turnover. You could say, Europe is the main market. I guess more than 90% of the turnover is generated here. Other spots are Middle East, China, and the Asian region, South America, also a strategically important region to be developed together with the US, and now South Africa as the new dot on the map. That's Jansen Worldwide. That's our, let's say, steering board. Christoph Jansen and Priska Jansen are the third generation, CEOs, you could say. Christoph Jansen acts as the main head of the company, taking care of the business decisions, and Priska Jansen, his cousin, is taking care of the supporting functions, finance, human resources, and so on. The second generation, Walter, Leo, and Peter, are still involved in the company. However, they don't have any official, let's say, positions here. We don't interact with them, but they're part of the decision-making process. So that's our head of our business. Jansen is not only strong in business, they're also strong in social, let's say, involvement worldwide. Every year we have a project that we support, and also there is one project that has been running now for more than 20 years. This is the Swiss Togo project. This is actually a joint project of several Swiss companies that develop the infrastructure in Togo. In the first 2 years, a primary school was built for kids down there. A few years later, let's say a training facility for lonely mothers who learned the profession of a professional, what do you call it, machine sewer, or they learned the profession on a sewing machine, and keep the machine after passing the final exam, and can make their own or support the family just on their own. So this is what we do in Togo. As I said, the project started in the year 1999 and has been continuously being on our dashboard. I have a short movie that I will run. The audio will not be you cannot hear the audio. There's only a music in the background, but some nice images from Togo that show what we do there, what we achieved.
Cute. French?
Yeah, French. Everything is in French.
Yeah, this is a French school.
Yeah.
It's a full day school, so we provide all the meals to the kids.
Wow.
How many years we have this film, Andreas? 4 or 5 years, I think.
Well, the film is some 5 years old now, and the project has started in 1999. So
yeah,
it's been some time already.
And I'm so curious what happened to all those children, how they're doing. Are they doing well? And
Wonderful.
Good question. I would have to investigate, Gary. I don't have this information.
Yeah, no, it's not just a general question. I hope they really are happy and fine.
Yeah, I think so. So.
It's a great investment, investing in the children.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you can say Jansen is generally a very social company. They not only support this type of project, but they are very active in the area here of Oberriet. They are the biggest employer in the area, and also make sure that the whole community profits from the company. One just small example is we have 2 furnaces here, 2 kilns where we heat up our products. After the pulling process, you have to heat up the steel to get the tension from the material structure, and to get it out. And the residual heat from these kilns is used to heat up the swimming pool, the local public swimming pool. So this is what Jansen does. Yeah. So they support a lot of things. It's a give and take always.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So.
And they even
stakeholder capitalism. So it's the new form of capitalism where the stakeholders benefit as much as the shareholders.
Yeah.
Well,
and they even engaged me, so you can imagine how social they are.
Yeah. Well, you can feel it. It's a family company, so it's you feel the attitude of the Jansen family throughout the company and whatever we do.
Pleasure.
Okay. One department you will probably come across when you are here is the Jansen Academy. This is a let's say a team, a group of people who takes care of our apprentices. We have some 50 apprentices here every year who learn the different professions. Some of them in the administrative area, some of them in metalworking, polymechanics, and so on. And this is who takes care of them. This department also makes sure that we stay, let's say, state of the art when it comes to trends and developments. This is our contact with the universities and technical schools outside. So also let's say a touch point with development of new products. We have sometimes people who write their master thesis here with us. There is one project that I think has finished already, the project with the Delft University in Holland. where a Canadian student is writing a master thesis on the future of the building envelopes of facades. And JANSEN Academy is taking care of it, or leading it, steering it. So,
Andreas?
Yeah, connection knots, David. It's concerning about the 3D facades and how you can connect these with the knots. This is the item. This is the thesis.
I'd be very interested in that, Jerry, if I could get a detail for that chat, because that's something that interests me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, Gary, do you know more about this project? Because I don't have any official information on the status of this thesis.
No, I don't know a lot more because it's it's a project of our division leader and Sebastian Thieme, together with his Leah, with his Canadian student. And she's been given a scholarship also by JANSEN. So, and she's working on it. I think they're quite close to the end of the thesis. And they're also going to be kind of joint venture between JANSEN and the Technical University of Delft in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And even also, I think with Ulrich Knaak, and Ulrich Knaak is a German specialist, a professor of facades. He's one of the most well-known scientists when it comes to special solutions in facades.
That's very interesting, Jerry.
Absolutely. Yeah, we behind the curtains, also in the background, we're doing a lot of things. Sometimes it might not seem that we are doing a lot of things, but there's a lot of things are going on. Very interesting things. Yeah.
I'll make a note of that.
So Gary, can you maybe follow up on this, the thesis?
Yeah,
and
of course,
provide David with more info, because I really don't I have never been in touch with this person. So
yeah, of course, yeah. I'll ask him how far we are and where we are at.
Perfect.
Yeah,
thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so this is let's say our setup. Now let's talk about the structure of the company. JANSEN is divided into 3 business units. As I already mentioned, steel tubes is the biggest one. This is the biggest share of sales. Well, let's say in the pre-corona times, it was some 50% of the turnover. Building systems, that's us. This is all the profiles for windows, doors, and facades. Some 35% of the turnover. And plastic solutions is the smallest business unit, responsible for some 15 plus minus % of the turnover. And I'll show you a few examples of the products that are produced in these divisions. Here on one slide, building systems, that's the building envelopes, so our facades, doors, and windows. Steel tubes you will find mainly in the vehicles, so our cars and trucks. Also in furniture, our tubes are part of several furniture lines or series, and also in all the supply and drainage systems, water, gas, and other fluids. So here you have it on one page. As I said, plastic solutions mainly underground or in the house, behind the wall. Steel tubes in the car, in your furniture, and the building systems, our profiles in doors, windows, and facades. A few detailed examples. Steel tubes, as I said, car elements, mainly responsible for the stability and safety of the car, and also transmission of power. So you already can notice this is really the high quality elements, the high quality steel tubes. This is what we make. This is what also allows us to exist here in Switzerland. These days, 95% of all the steel tubes are manufactured in Asia, China, and India. And to be able to produce steel pipes in Switzerland, we have to offer a little more than just, let's say, average quality. We offer the state-of-the-art, the high-tech pipes. Furniture, all the tubes see here covered with chrome or chromated steel tubes. This is what we deliver. We don't deliver them already finished. We deliver the raw material, and the furniture companies finish them and assemble the furniture. Tables like these here with adjustable height, the columns for the tables, this is also JANSEN. all these, furniture based on tubes. This is it. Here you see a chair, office chair. This is it. Also sanitary business, we're big here. Piping systems and radiator elements. This is steel tubes. Here a little more detailed view of a car. Well, you see here the steering elements, drive shafts, prop shafts, airbag tubes, piston rods, amplifiers, and so on. This is all based on JANSEN products. Plastic Solutions, the smallest business division, has been founded in 1955. This is when the modern plastics hit the market, PVC, later on polyethylene, PE. We started experimenting with that in the 50s and then established a full product line. Mainly pipes for water and gas supply, heating, air conditioning, plumbing. Geothermal systems is a subdivision of Plastic Solutions. Here, not only the tubes are produced, but also the sensors, the sondas, and everything you need for the geothermal heating system or energy recovery.
Do they have systems that compete with Geberit's typical plumbing systems?
A good question. In fact, we produce some of the tubes that Geberit sells. So we have our own brands, but I would say they are not very strong and are not very recognizable in the market. But we also produce or provide the tubes for other market leaders like Geberit, for example. Mepla system, very popular in South Africa, is produced partially here in Oberit. So the multi-layer systems, we have PE, aluminum, and another PE layer. I'll show you an example of that. So yeah, this is it. Also, several plastic profiles are extruded here in Oberit. We use these profiles in our division in building systems as thresholds, as different elements for the windows and doors. Here are a couple of examples. Supply systems, drinking water, gas. Geberit is also strong in the insulated piping systems, the double wall systems. Here you see an example, thermal water in a tunnel. This is a typical application here.
Incredible.
Drainage systems as well, sewer pipes, seep pipes. The Cubic Plus is a rainwater management system. It's a modular systems where you connect several of these cubes to a rainwater management system. We have won several awards here when it comes to design and usability of these systems. Here you see the multi-layer system for either heating or water supply, drinking water supply. And this is, I guess, Viega. Viega is the final supplier of these systems, and we produce the, let's say, the raw material, the pipes. They equip the systems with fittings and then sell the full solution. Geberit does exactly the same.
Yeah.
Geothermal systems, as you see, the pipes and also the elements, the sensors, everything you need. One of the fastest growing subdivision here at JANSEN.
Huge potential.
But what concerns us, what we will concentrate on, is the building systems. This is what we are active. And to begin with, I would like to show you one of the nicest buildings here on the JANSEN site. This is our campus building where the steel pipes are headquartered, where the division or our company heads also have their offices. And this is also for the architects. It's a very prestigious building designed by Davide Maculo, a star architect from Switzerland, a student of Mario Botta, one of the world's best-known architects, I guess. Davide Maculo is, by the way, also a friend of the JANSEN family, and he delivers a lot of good inputs when it comes to how to approach architects who are one of our main target groups as well. What helps us develop the building systems is the new technology center, which you see here on the right-hand side. It has been established some 3 or 4 years ago. It has been built on a site where an old building was standing. It was demolished, and a new new building was built. It's equipped with a nice FIS facade on both sides, or I mean on 2 sides. When you come to JANSEN, to Oberitz, I will give you a tour of this building. We will be there this afternoon. I will show you a little bit the setup of this building. This is where we produce prototypes. This is where we produce some of the let's say products for our customers, a small series. This is also where we test our systems. We have a testing wall identical to the EFT Rosenheim, which is a testing lab here in Europe, in Germany, the best known, I guess, in Europe, responsible for testing of all the building materials or building systems. We purchased the same testing equipment from them and can run the tests here on site. That means we can also prepare the tests. We can do let's say the preliminary tests, and once we're ready, we invite the let's say the officials and run the sharp tests here on site. Saves a lot of time and a lot of money in the end. And of course, the chance of succeeding, of passing a test, has become much greater since we have this this building here on the site. Different target groups, differentiated challenges. As Gary mentioned already, we are actually active in high residential and in public project business. So you see here, of course, the big turnover comes from the projects, but of course, high residential is where we get a better margin and where we can actually employ our imagination much better. And especially the developing countries offer us a lot of opportunities to let's say cross the borders and to try out all the possibilities that our systems offer. A couple of examples here. This is a concert hall in Kilden in Norway. You see a fraction or a part of the facade. I will show you more picture of this project later on. The particular characteristic of this facade was the height. It is some 21 meters high, as far as I remember, or 16. I have the data later on. It's one of the highest facades that we have ever built, with the highest static requirements, due to the fact that this concert hall is located next to the sea in Norway, and the wind load is extreme. There was a requirement of 150 kilograms per square meter of wind load. And combined with the size of the facade, we had quite a challenge here. We mastered it. The facade is 130 meters long, and as I said, 20 or 16 meters high. I will give you the correct data later. So one of the biggest facades, one of the most impressive ones. It's based, by the way, on the FIS Extra profile, which is a personalized profile.
Okay.
Guzzini Illuminazione in Barcelona. This is yet another project which was a big challenge with FIS and the Janisol windows and doors on the outside application and economy 50 and 60 on the inside. Here you see the on the right, of the left-hand side, the main headquarters building of the Würth Group. This is one of the biggest building supplies provider here in Europe. They have their headquarters close to the Constance Lake, so some 30 kilometers away from here. And their building is totally equipped with JANSEN systems. The carrying parts, you can't really see it here, but there is a switch here from steel. The facade is made out of steel in the statically, let's say, more challenging area. And the rest of the building is aluminum. You can combine both systems in the JANSEN world. But a nice example of how you can employ large steel elements here in the entrance area, doors over 5 meters, for example. The right-hand side, I have to admit, I don't know this project, but it's also a facade system, the FIS system, equipped with photovoltaic elements, and at the same time, architectonically very interesting project.
Yeah.
You may not know it, but we also provide wood systems. We have a product line called Connex, wood and wood aluminum for the residential sector. So nice, let's say, addition to the steel and aluminum systems that we have, and it's growing. It's small still, but growing, and especially in Switzerland, quite interesting product here. Yeah, we passionately keep creating something special, and this will not change in the future. Our technology center gives us the possibilities, and I will show you a short movie here. It's a image movie of the building systems just recently produced. There is an audio in the background. It basically just expresses the idea. There is no limitations with steel. Steel is let's say, the raw material from which the architect's dreams are or come true or are made of. And here you see some of the examples of JANSEN projects. So a couple of examples of projects. I will have more pictures and more of this later on.
Andreas, on Teams, you'll find a clicking field that allows you to use computer sound. I tried that on the launch because we're using Teams, and it allows the sound to come through. So I don't know where the button is on your, because you've got the full Teams view, so it's maybe hard to find it. But there is a button that allows you to select use sound from computer. It says.
Can you do it? Okay. You know, I had this button today. I was trying out a little bit. I was playing around with Teams, and I did hit it once. So theoretically, this is on. But let me just see.
So there's somewhere when you check it, and then it works quite well.
You normally have to do it before you start sharing.
Yeah, before you.
Yeah, so you actually have to stop sharing.
Yeah, that's right, Andreas.
Yeah, shall we do it? Okay, let me try.
Maybe.
Okay, but what will it be?
So as you say that you want to share your screen, or however you're going to do it, then it'll give you an option, use computer sound.
Ah, yeah, you got it. Okay. Well then, okay, let's try. I did hit it now. So you're still seeing the screen. Let me know if you can. Let me know if you can hear the sound.
Go back to
yeah. Let's try. Let's play the movie again, because there will be one more movie that I want you to hear the audio.
Cool.
How about now?
Yeah. Perfect.
You can hear the music?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Steel represents
Let's do it again.
History, elegance, and is natural, durable, secure, slender, and sophisticated. This is why we offer solutions for windows, doors, and facades made of steel, corten, or stainless steel. For outside, for inside, for renovation, for new builds. And it looks like this, or this, or this. And while you take care of your customers, we'll take care of all the rest. Complex structural calculations, U-value calculation, technical testing, and fire protection. Construction of life-size samples and fabrication training for metal fabricators. One material gives you infinite possibilities.
Okay, good. So I'm glad it worked. The next movie is the one I want to show you with the sound. And it is the movie about our production facilities, the production methods that we employ here. So far, so good. Do you guys have any questions concerning the material I showed you so far?
No, all the content looks good.
Okay,
good. Like we're all good, Andreas. I was smiling listening to that voiceover of the video. Initially, I thought it was a Swiss German, then it sounded like a British guy, and I can't now decide what nationality that voiceover was.
But it's mainly the GB. It will be the British English, because that's the speakers we have available here. So that's where it comes
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we once had somebody from Georgia, but it didn't work. Hi, y'all doing?
All right. So yeah, production of steel. I won't tell you how steel is produced. You know that probably. What we use here at JANSEN is flat steel that comes in sheets, in coils, and is transformed or processed here in Oberried, either through a pulling or a rolling process. And these are the two processes that the next movie will introduce to you. So I will run it, and let's just talk a lot about it later, because this replaces the factory tour. Since you guys are far away from me, I can take you to the production site. Rolling and drawing are the two methods that we used. Rolling is basically transforming a flat piece of steel or continuous flat piece of steel into a tube, into a round pipe, welding it, and then either transforming it into other shapes or cutting it into pieces. So this is rolling, cold rolling, and drawing means or is done in such a way that you pull a already welded tube, which was produced in the rolling process. You pull it through a matrix or a die, an inner die and outer die, and the gap between the two dies defines the shape of the structure you want to achieve. So with the drawing method, you can produce let's say irregular shapes, twisted pipes, twisted shapes, different strengths of walls, of pipe walls or profile walls, and complex profiles altogether. So let's watch the movie, which will explain how these two methods are employed here at JANSEN.
There was no need for man to invent the tube. Nature had been using it to great advantage long before in her aesthetically and functionally balanced art of construction.
Back in 1930, JANSEN produced for the first time cold-drawn, profiled steel tubes of asymmetric cross-section, known as flanged profile sections, for door and window construction. Induction and high-frequency welding were introduced into steel tube manufacture from 1954 onwards. The raw material is hot or cold-rolled steel strip, made from plain or low-alloy carbon steels. In a first operation, hot strip is pickled in acid to remove any mill scale.
And this is how the longitudinal seam tubes are made. By passing through the profile rolls of the welding machine, strip steel is gradually formed into a tube or profile featuring a longitudinal slot.
In a very short time and without contact, A high-frequency system inductively heats the strip edges to welding temperature. Edging rolls now bring the edges together, and pressure welding takes place.
No extra material of any sort is used in pressure welding, which means that the weld is of the same chemical composition as the basic material.
The welding burr from edging is removed.
A following saw cuts the endless tube into sections of the desired length.
The precision steel tubes rolled to size leave the welding machine in their final cross-section.
Namely round, square or rectangular, flat oval, oval, half round.
Or in a special profile, but also in other shapes to suit the customer's requirements.
After welding, many JANSEN tubes are processed into drawn precision tubes of steel, or into sectional steel tubes. How are steel tubes drawn?
The drawing tag, a piece of reduced diameter, is formed to one end of the semi-finished tube.
Annealing takes place at about 920 degrees Celsius in the continuous furnace to normalize the material's structure. In the pickling plant, the surface is chemically treated and prepared for the drawing process.
On the draw bench, the semi-finished tube is pulled through the ring gap between the precision ground outer die and the mandrel or inner die to reduce the diameter and the wall thickness of the tube. More complex shapes require several pulls and repeated annealing.
In other words, annealing, pickling, drawing, annealing, pickling, drawing, and so on.
After drawing, the tubes are straightened. The end of the tube and the drawing tag are sawn off.
Okay, so that's the main steps in our production. How did it come across? Did you guys, could you follow everything?
I think something I want to ask, just because I'm curious and don't know, but so I'm familiar with extruding. You know, like basically just like pushing putty through a syringe and then a shape comes out.
Yeah.
So how come that manufacturing process isn't employed for your steel to make that complex shape, whereas you do this process called drawing?
Good question. Well, the reason is the melting temperature of aluminum versus steel. You can extrude aluminum just like it was plastic. 660 degrees is the melting temperature. So you can use steel dies to extrude aluminum, no problem. But it won't work with steel. Steel has a melting temperature of 1,560. And well, the steels we use, and it would be very difficult and energy consuming to produce a extrusion system for that. As far as I know, they don't exist or exist in very limited availability, not for profiles, not for tubes. So that's the reason.
Really about, it's just the melting temperature. That's the main factor.
It has to do with the melting temperature. You can't extrude steel easily. It won't work.
Yeah.
You know, problem with the energy and the dies. I must say, Andreas, that video was very informative, nice and simple. It came across very well.
Okay, yeah. The steel will still heat up quite a bit when you draw it. So the cold tube will heat up to some 200-300 Celsius when it passes through the matrix. So there is some heat involved, but it comes from the friction of the material.
I wasn't aware of how the cold rolled weld was done, how the seam was done. So that was quite interesting, heating up the edges so that you end up with the same material. That's very interesting.
Right, and that's exactly. Well, that's something that that JANSEN mastered over the decades. They started with this process. I think they may have been one of the first ones to employ this press welding methodology. And I hear that in the beginning it was like 14 centimeters per minute that they would weld, still with good let's say results. And today we can weld up to 100 meters per minute. So this is a very fast process. And you can remove the welding burr on the outside always. It is removed automatically on the inside when you cut the pipe. Also, well, depending on the requirements of the customer, it can also be removed. And then you process the pipe further. Then you pull it, and then you pull it to the shape you need. And very complex, very let's say precise shapes can only be done by pulling. And this is the know-how of Jansen.
Yeah, and that drawing process, Andreas, is it require fairly high temperatures or not?
No, the temperature are produced during in the drawing process. I mean, you have to imagine a cold pipe which has been pickled before. It has been cleaned and lubricated, is placed in front of the matrix. Then the drawing tag, the thinner, the squeezed end of the pipe is inserted into the matrix. It's grabbed by a device, by a pulling device. It's a machine that can pull some, let's say, between 2 and 40 tons, and then it pulls the pipe with a lot of force through the matrix. And the friction causes the pipe to heat up. As I said, 200, 300 degrees Celsius. You see even the oil evaporating after this process. And with that, the pipe becomes longer, the strength of the pipe wall becomes thinner, and also the smoothness of the surface becomes greater. So a lot of pipes that we produced have to have a certain, what do you call it, smoothness degree, right? So again, this is where we use this process.
Incredible, beautiful.
It's an interesting energy conversion factor. Instead of trying to heat up the metal to shape it, you shape the metal and then heat is produced as a byproduct because of friction.
Right. You basically don't. I mean, the heat is a waste product. It's not really desired. All this. But this is how it happens. And now, okay, what you saw is the drawing machine you saw is one of the smallest ones that we have. It's a manual machine where a person has to place the tubes and make sure when they come out to collect them again. We have 2 or 3 machines that are fully automated here also. You don't see them in this movie. These are, I mean, autonomous machines that produce the pipes, that pull the pipes. They're steered from a control panel, all automated. So the output of this pulling machine or our pulling, let's say, production site is huge. It's enormous. You don't see it in this movie really. But then again, pipes are our main product still, and the profiles profit from the technology that we develop in the pipe production, and therefore we can explore the boundaries of profile production.
Incredible.
Not only here, but now with Welser, I think this is also where a lot of potential is still to be discovered. Okay, so this is the production. Unfortunately, we cannot go on a tour of the company now. I would love to show you this now in real life, but instead I will just tell you what material qualities we process here at Jansen. You see them here. Well, the coils that you saw in one of the sections of the movie is our raw material warehouse. We have actually a buffer stock warehouse with some 12,000 tons of material, which are good for 2 months of production. This also allows us to optimize the purchasing price, or the purchasing price of the raw material. We don't have to do it every week. We don't have to buy every week. We do it in let's say in the times when the prices are low, and then it comes here. The materials we get, we order for the profiles are either blank steel, so just covered with an oil layer, galvanized or zinc covered, or 2 types of stainless steel. The 14301, this is the standard stainless steel, and the 14401, which is the acid-resistant stainless steel. Galvanized steel and stainless steel can be processed or are processed through the rolling process, or the rolling production method, the blank steel can be rolled and drawn. Here you don't damage the surface by drawing. The galvanized steel will, of course, you would remove the let's say the protective zinc layer if you did that. Stainless steel is just by experience better processed by rolling, and this is what we do either here or with Welser. Welser is our production strength, our production muscle behind processing of stainless steel. So this is it.
Okay. Andreas, just a question on the galvanized coils. So then, are your typical ZF100 coated profiles? Are those coils? Do they come in blank brute coils and then they get zinc plated afterwards, or what?
No, they come already zinc plated. They come as we have them as a final product, and the rolling process does not have an effect on the on the surface, on the quality of the surface. So the ZF100 surface stays on it.
So that ZF100 is drawn? It is
drawn, yes. Or rolled, yeah. No, sorry, not drawn. Rolled, it's only rolled. It cannot be drawn. It cannot be drawn.
Oh, it can't be drawn. Okay.
No, zinc layered material, you will remove the zinc you will change the whole structure of the material because it gets stretched. So it will not stay integral anymore. That's the reason.
Back on the page.
Yeah, but we do have in the past we did employ a electrogalvanization process. We don't do it anymore. I guess we're considering introducing a new process. You know the yellow chromated material or yellow chromated steel. We had it in the past. This was performed on the blank profiles. So the surface was applied, but mainly for transportation protection purposes.
Yeah, the yellow has gone out of fashion because of the sustainability issues.
That's right, that's right. We're considering, I guess, the blue chromatation process, but I don't see it being employed yet. So it's so blank is drawn and rolled, and the rest are rolled or rolled. So that's it.
Cool.
Okay, so so much about the production methods and our company. Do you guys have any questions so far? I mean, you had questions, so it's fine. We had an interactive session here. Any other questions?